Well, all is quiet at St James's Park at the moment, but that will change come 8 o'clock this evening as Liverpool continue the defence of their Premier League title with their first away game of the campaign. And it is a head-to-head with a fair amount of added spice for the champions, given everything that is currently going on. It is match day 2 in the Premier League, and it is a repeat of the 2025 League Cup final, Newcastle against Liverpool. Hopefully a different result tonight. It all gets underway at 8 o'clock. Very good evening to you. Welcome along to Matchday Live. We'll get the thoughts of Gary Gillespie and Neil Mellor very shortly. But firstly, let's head to the scene of Neil's Premier League debut for Liverpool St James's Park. David Thompson and first Peter McDowell.
Yeah, some big decisions for Arne Slot to make tonight, Rob. The most key of all of them, by the looks of it, was what to do at right back after the injury to Jeremy Frimpong. His decision is that Dominic Szoboszlai will play there for the Reds tonight. Also, no Alexis McAllister in the travelling party for Liverpool, so Curtis Jones comes in, and has been well documented as well. Ryan Gravenberch back in that Liverpool starting 11. So 2 changes it displays in all. Let's confirm that team for you in full then. So Alisson Becker as ever in goal. Virgil van Dijk, who has mixed memories, of course, of this ground, sent off here a couple of years ago. Kanate and Kirkes complete that back four. Wirtz with a big welcome to the Premier League in this atmosphere tonight, you would assume as well. And Szoboszlai, as we mentioned, inside that back four by the looks of things. And then Mo Salah, 1 away from 4th on the all-time Premier League scorer list. It would only be Shearer and Kane and Rooney ahead of him then. The last 2 are catchable on that list, of course, and he will have more than one eye on that at the moment. And also a big opportunity for Curtis Jones. Played his 150th Liverpool game here in December. Cody Gakpo played his 100th Premier League game for the club here last Christmas as well. Ekitike could be the first Liverpool player since Sturridge back in January of 2013 to score in his first 3 games. And Ryan Gravenberch, welcome return for him as well. The bench looks like this. Marmonashvili, the substitute goalkeeper. Endo, also Conor Bradley inside that squad again. Giovanni Leone inside the Liverpool squad for the first time also. Elliott, Robertson, Engamoa, Chiesa, famous goal last week, of course, for Liverpool, also scored at Wembley. It's probably a goal you've probably not seen too many times since that final. And also Joe Gomez still waiting for that goal, but more important than all of that, he will be waiting for the first of his action inside probably a moment where Liverpool really need it in that right back position. David Thompson is with us, former Liverpool midfielder. That was the big decision for him. Conor Bradley and Joe Gomez in the squad, but judged not to be quite ready to start this game.
Yeah, probably didn't want to risk Conor. Probably going to need him, obviously, going forward in the next few weeks. So it looks like Szoboszlai is going to occupy that position. It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, he's not comfortable there. I don't think I've ever seen him play there, but he's going to be asked to do a job, and that's what you've got to do in the Premier League. You know, if you've got aspirations to go and win it again, you've got to drop some square pegs in round holes, and that's what's going to happen today. He's going to have a tough night on his hands there with either Harvey Barnes or looking like Anthony Gordon might play central. So yeah, it just gives Curtis that opportunity to come in. Obviously McAllister's dropped out of that midfield. We've got Gravenberch coming back in, which is I'm so delighted to see him. He'll give us that stability in there, and obviously try and shuttle over to stop them counter-attacks, which I'm really expecting from Newcastle today.
It's an imperfect situation for Arne Slot. Very rare that you have 2 defenders out with exactly the same problem. Joe Gomez, he's probably not quite sure can play the full 90 minutes at the moment. So how does that change it from a defensive point of view to have Dom Szoboszlai in there, do you think?
Well, I think it does. It throws you out of balance a little bit. You know, you always want to have your right backs in there. So it's just unfortunate. Obviously, Trent's gone, and we bring Frimpong in. He's got that injury. Connor's got that injury. So if Gomez was fit, I would have played him there. Obviously, he gives you that stability, and he never lets you down anywhere across that back foot. Although last season he struggled a little bit in this fixture, obviously coming straight back into the team after a bit of an absence. So he did struggle along with Quansah last year. That was a bit of a problem for us, but yeah, we've got Gravenberch there. I'm sure he'll be coming over to help Szoboszlai. Mo will be dropping back in. You know, I think he'll be selective on when he goes forward. And I think what we're going to see here is a big counter-attacking performance from both sides, really. I think they're both going to be wanting to beat that press. As you've seen in the cup final last year, it ended up being a bit of a long ball game. And they won that midfield battle because they were more equipped to pick up the second balls. They were more used to that dogged performance. So we're going to have to compete today to pick up them second balls. So you're looking at Wirtz, you're looking at Jones, and you're looking at Gravenberch to get on them second balls, get hold of the ball, quieten down this crowd, because it is going to be very hostile here today. These fans are upset.
There's so much talk about goals at the moment. Liverpool did ever so well away from home last year. Actually scored more goals away from Anfield than they did at Anfield. This is the kind of opportunity tonight where they'll be looking at this thinking, you know, again, if we're going to defend this crown, it's a place we have to come and do well at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got to be thinking about picking up these second balls and then trying to, you know, if you look at their back floor, they've got 3 at the back there that are over 30. You know, they're not the most mobile. Kieran Trippier struggled the last 18 months from what I've seen. You've got Dan Burn there, he's not the quickest on the turn, although he likes to play things in front of him. Then you've got Fabian Schär, who it has been a standout performance for the last 6 months. And then you've got Livramento left back up against Mo Salah. Although he did play well against Mo in the cup final, I think, you know, Mo will be determined today to get right at him. There is opportunities here for us to go and get them goals, to go and push them men forward. But for me, I'd like to see us be a bit more conservative, quieten down this crowd a little bit, let the occasion get to them more than anything, because these are the ones that are angry, these are the ones that are upset. Let them tire themselves out, then bring on our substitutes, the likes of Harvey, the likes of Chiesa, and then let's see what we can do then.
Hugo Ekitike, as mentioned before, he could be the first player since 2013 to score in his first 3 competitive games. He's in a great moment, isn't he? Having had the moment that he had at Anfield, scoring at Wembley. This will be another ground where he's confident of coming here and maybe quieting the crowd up.
What an occasion. I mean, what a stadium this is to go and do that. I think he looks like nothing phases him. He looks like he's got the confidence in himself. I think if you find him in a one-on-one situation around that box on that left-hand side, they're going to be worried. He's got you know, power and accuracy and abundance on that left-hand side, and I really rate him. I think he's a quality player. Looks like it's not going to faze him today.
It's not going to faze David Thompson. He is going to be here a little bit longer to talk about Newcastle. Really warm here pitch side as well. They're expecting it to be somewhere close to 25 degrees by the time the game kicks off here at 8 o'clock tonight.
Thank you very much indeed. So 2 changes to the Liverpool lineup tonight from the one that started with that victory against Bournemouth last Friday. Gary, Neil, good evening. How significant is the return of Ryan Gravenberch?
Well, I think it showed against Bournemouth that we were a little bit vulnerable in that sort of position. Bournemouth caught us too many times on the counter-attack and transgression. I think it was like a little bit too much. And I think with him in there gives us a little bit more solidity. I think we're still searching for that balance with the way like Wirtz is playing in that position where last year was accommodated by Szoboszlai, who gave us that little bit more energy, that little bit more closing down, but probably doesn't have the same sort of like technical ability and skill set that Wirtz has at this moment. But in saying that, we look really good going forward at times, and something like the build-up play was really exciting. And I think we're a team that will score goals against anybody. And I'm looking at the game tonight and thinking, well, this has got a history of goals in it, so I think there'll be a lot of goals tonight.
Gary used that word balance there, Neil. If you look at Ryan Gravenberch's numbers from last season, he was big in the Premier League in terms of his passing, but also his interceptions, which would tell you that he did a big job offensively, but also defensively for the team.
It's a massive boost, without a doubt, to have him back into the starting lineup. He didn't start the game against Bournemouth, he was suspended, even the game against Palace, and for the first time, certainly under Arne Slot, we looked a little bit vulnerable to the counter-attack, and last season we didn't at all. And you're looking at some of the stats there, you can see in terms of he was ever present in terms of always available for Liverpool, which is a huge factor. Don't forget he's learning the position. You know, this isn't a position that he's played all his career, but I thought he adapted to that role really well. I think one of his strengths is his ability to read the game. He reads the game, so you've seen interceptions. He's not having to make diving tackles. He can see the game and see where the danger is. So Liverpool's vulnerability against Bournemouth, occasionally, not all game, but was to that counter-attack. He will help protect those centre-half partnership of Konate and Virgil van Dijk. And that was the change we expected. We expected to see Gravenberch coming into the side. It was just who's going to play right full-back. It's a blow not to see McAllister. I thought he played well last week against Bournemouth. But I think if you're looking at of all the names to play right full-back, I think it would be Curtis Jones, because he has played there before. He's played for England there. And if you remember the derby at Anfield last season against Everton when we beat them 1-0, Curtis Jones played right full-back in that game. So it's not ideal to be playing a midfielder, but he has played in that position before, and it's a tough one for him because they have pace out wide.
I would have personally gone with Joe Gomez myself too, quite honestly. I know he hasn't played an awful lot of football and he obviously missed quite a bit of pre-season, but I would have probably liked to start with him, and then if the situation arose, bring somebody on, like could be an End or could it be a Curtis Jones. But as Neil rightly says, he has played there before. He's an intelligent player as well, Curtis Jones. He knows how to use his head as well.
Do you think that the transition for a central midfielder playing as a right back is a little bit easier these days, given how often you seem to see fullbacks stepping into midfield?
Well, very much the case, I think. Like the fact that I think we will see Curtis Jones step into that and play in a very narrow position. I think when you look at the way that Connor Bradley was playing, was a little bit different to Frimpong. He was playing more like a right half or an inside right at times, whereas Frimpong kind of keeps a little bit wider. But I think you will see Curtis Jones play a little bit narrower. And as I say, he's got the intelligence to do that when and when it's right. It'll be interesting to see how they do play with Curtis Jones as a right back. But the one thing will be that he will get forward, he will push forward, because Konate behind him has been used to being the cover for Liverpool on many occasions when Trent Alexander-Arnold was there.
I think one of the big things, if you're a player playing out of position to help the team, you're desperate not to let the team down. So Curtis Jones wants to be a midfielder. We know he's very good there, but he's been asked to do a job tonight because Frimpong's out injured and Connor Bradley and Gomez aren't quite ready to start the game. So in that position, you're thinking, you don't want to let the team down. So yes, he might go into midfield at times and get on the ball, but defensively, he's going to be so switched on and so concentrated not to let the team down. So it might not be a bad thing, but he will be tested against Harvey Barnes, that's for sure.
Well, that is the point, Gary, isn't it, that we've spoken about modern fullbacks stepping into midfield. We've spoken about the job that Curtis Jones might do bombing forward tonight, but ultimately the old-fashioned defender would say your first job is to defend. And Harvey Barnes is one thing. Anthony Gordon, I think, is a good mate of Curtis Jones. If he's switched on, he's playing down the middle, but he will peel to that side, you would think, more often than not, which is his natural side anyway. Well,
quite possibly. I mean, he will be playing, well, I think he will play as the false number 9. It's interesting, I think he's gone 16 games without scoring. There lies a problem for Newcastle at this moment in time. They don't have a recognised goal scorer. Well, they do have a recognised goal scorer, but he's not played obviously tonight. So I think that's a problem for them. But Harvey Barnes he is quick. He will run at Curtis Jones. Hence the reason why I think it'll be very important for the Ryan Gravenberchs, the Konates. Mohamed Salah gets that licence, maybe not to track back as many times as maybe what you would see Cody Gakpo do on the other side, because he is Mohamed Salah and he does his business at the other end of the pitch. So he gets a little bit of free licence to maybe, I wouldn't say cheat because that's not the right word, but he gets that little free licence to stay up the field a little bit. So I don't expect him to come back too many times to help Curtis Jones. I think that'll be down to Gravenberch to come across and Konate behind him.
Let's hear from the Liverpool head coach then, Arne Slot, right at the start of his quest to become just the 4th manager in Premier League history to retain the title. It has been touched on a couple of times already this evening, but he's expecting a lively night on Tyneside.
Nothing to do with anything that's in the media a lot, but I think if you go to Newcastle, you know what to expect. We've played them 3 times last season and twice their intensity levels were above ours. So in the away game, especially the first 60 minutes, they were so intense. They were fully deserved, had the lead, and in the League Cup final they were more intense than us as well. So I don't think they need anything to add for them being intense if they play at St James's Park. It is, yeah, they play at St James's Park. So yeah, it's. Apart from the intensity, it's a very good team. They have also a team that can make it a fight, if you want to call it like this. They have players for this, but they also have players that are so comfortable in the ball. So one of the best teams in the league, and one of the most difficult away games that you can have in a season, especially, as you say it here, under the lights. Yeah, under the lights. So yeah.
It's rare to have 10 days between games in the Premier League, even at this stage of the season. How helpful has that been to be able to get more time with the players on the training pitch and maybe kind of drill some of those structures a little bit more?
No, of course it's helpful, but we did had a good pre-season. We had 6 weeks compared to last season where we only had 2. Yeah, we had 6 weeks as well, but only 2 with most of the players. So we've had our time to train already, and I think that's also what you could see against the Bournemouth game, because it was, if you look at data, running stats, it was the most intense game that is played in the weekend. So that tells you that our match fitness is where we want it to be, and where we need it to be if you need to go to Newcastle, by the way. But it's also clear that in pre-season, that's what I said, I mixed up lineups, and then it's quite normal that you don't see every time the right connection between some players or some lines. But that was already very good against Bilbao, and okay to good against Palace and Bournemouth.
It has been touched on, Neil, the atmosphere tonight, that Newcastle in night matches don't need a lot of encouraging. They've got a little bit because of the circumstances of the game. As a player, a Liverpool player, how do you block that out, silence it, quell it tonight?
I'm not sure they're going to be able to silence it, if I'm being honest. I think it's going to be a really, really difficult...
They will have to score 2 early goals.
Go 3-0 up after 10 minutes.
I think 3-0 might be needed, because they're going to be absolutely at it from the word go. It's the first game of the season for starters, at home for them. It's a night game, so they've had all day to build up to it. It's the champions, one of the best side in the Premier League coming to them, and also the fact that all summer there's been a saga going on, and the fans are not happy because they've not been able to get a centre forward in. So Anthony Gordon, you're saying, he's playing as a 9. He's not a 9. They haven't been able to get a centre forward in. Callum Wilson's left the football club, and 4 or 5 strikers have turned them down. So that tells you that something isn't quite right there at the moment. So they are so fired up about Liverpool coming, and it makes it more difficult. It makes it more difficult, without a doubt, for the players, because last season we went there and it was tough, and it was all those things under the lights. They wanted to beat us. We were top of the table, and we ended up drawing the game 3-3. And we felt disappointed because we were 3-2 up. But it's a tough game, regardless of all the saga that's gone on.
Go on.
Well, it is a tough game, but I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, Liverpool haven't lost here since 2015. That's 10 years. 17 league games, I think it is, like without getting beat here. And as much as the pressure will be on Liverpool, because there always is pressure on Liverpool, and it is a fantastic atmosphere in the stadium, and there will obviously put a lot of pressure. Liverpool know how to handle it. They've handled it before, and I don't see any reason why they can't handle it again tonight. I
wonder, because that hoodoo's been there, we talk about they've got a terrible record against us in the league. The fact they beat us in the League Cup, they've had it in you can't beat Liverpool, and all of a sudden they beat us in the League Cup final. Now it's almost like you know how to beat Liverpool, and I'm sure that'll be said in the dressing room by Eddie Howe. You know how to beat this lot. So that's different, rather than you've not beat them, you can be the first team to do it. They know how to beat us in a big game, which they proved in that League Cup final.
Yeah, not won back-to-back games against Liverpool in all competitions since 1995. You touched on it there, though, Neil. That 3-3 was a bit of a throwback to days gone by, because Liverpool and Newcastle have served up a huge amount of entertainment over the years in the Premier League. And you touched on it, that ultimately, I think Arne Slot's side left disappointed that they'd not won that, because they got themselves into a good position, 3-2 up.
Yeah, I mean, the first half wasn't great. We were 1-0 down, weren't we? You're thinking you need a response. Curtis Jones gives us that at 1-1. You're thinking, can we go on and win it? And this happens. We go 2-1 down. And you think, when you go 2-1 down at St James's Park, you're thinking, I'll take a point. I'll take a point. And the way that Liverpool responded, I think the subs helped. Trent came on, I think Diaz came on, and that helped Salah. I mean, that was an unbelievable finish, wasn't it, from Salah? I think he hit the bar afterwards. He got another goal. It was just one of those, it was a good spell from Liverpool. When you're 3-2 up, you're thinking you can win that game. And it was a big blow to concede so late the way we did.
The intensity that Arne Slot spoke about there, Gary, we've touched on it from the perspective of the crowd, but it's also the way that Newcastle go about things, particularly in home games, but they did it in that cup final as well. That it feels a key area tonight, that midfield, that Florian Wirtz has got to do a lot of work going backwards, because Tonali, Bruno and Joe Linton will be all over the place.
Well, for me, that's where the strength lies, Newcastle. I think their midfield is very, very strong. Both physically and technically very, very gifted as well. And I think that will be like a key battle. So you've got to win your individual battles. Like the midfield have got to win their individual battles, the duels that they're going to have, the second balls. You know, Liverpool are at their best when they dominate the second balls, and if they can do that tonight against a Newcastle side, which will have their tails up right from the start, then I think they'll come out on top. But in saying that, the example was like the League Cup final, where they outfought us basically, hence the reason why they got the result.
Talking of high quality midfielders, do you know who scored one of the goals last time Newcastle beat Liverpool at St James's?
I should know this.
You should know this,
but I don't.
Okay, well, we'll give you a little bit of a clue, more than a little bit of a clue. Here
it's Gini Wijnaldum.
Did a bit for Liverpool as well at this time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And the Newcastle manager that day, Gary?
Alan Pardew?
Steve McLaren.
Steve McLaren. Oh, there you go.
But certainly the point about the Newcastle midfield, Neil, is a good one from Gary in the sense that is where the strength lies, particularly without Alexander-Isak in attack, that those three will get through a huge amount of work and try and get the ball to those front players as often as possible.
Yeah, and I think a big factor is they're physical, they're aggressive, and the fans will absolutely love that. You know, they'll try and intimidate us in those sort of areas. And Florian Wirtz is one of the best players in world football in that position. How much time and space will those three allow him? They'll be right in his face, and they'll be trying to limit that space, which is a big threat that we have. So it is a strength of theirs, and I think the counter-attack, the pace they have going forward is also a threat of theirs. But we have our own threats as well. And so whilst the midfield, we didn't particularly play well in the cup final against that midfield three, we didn't have Wirtz in there. And I felt as though we were tired in the cup final anyway. I'm not making excuses, but after the PSG game, I didn't think we were at our best. Wow. The lads have had all week. We've had a long time to prepare for this and focused on. We want to start the season well. We did against Bournemouth with the win. Let's back it up because we know what's around the corner. Arsenal at home.
If you're watching us on social media, you're about to leave us for full details of how to sign up to LFC TV and watch all of the content. liverpoolfc.com/watch is where you need to head to. A reminder of what is on the way throughout the course of the evening. We'll hear from the new PFA Player of the Year, Mo Salah, between now and kick-off. Full audio commentary from Stephen Ronnie Whelan tonight, 8 o'clock. And then reaction from both here in the studio and up on Tyneside from 10. All of that reaction will also be available as a podcast from around midnight, wherever you get your podcast. The full match, which hopefully will be worth a watch, is also available from midnight on LFC TV. And then all the behind-the-scenes access from St James's inside. We have heard from Arne Slot already this evening. What about the Newcastle head coach, Eddie Howe? He is hoping his team will make a winning start at St James's Park.
First home game, I think, is always going to be electric, under lights, evening game. Those